Hey folks, this is Riker, and Microsoft just bought Activision Blizzard for $69 billion. This is Microsoft's biggest purchase ever. And as someone whose focus has been on Blizzard for years, this is the most mind-boggling headline I've ever woken up to. Just a few days ago, we covered how Take-Two acquired Zynga for $12.7 billion, which at the time broke the record for the biggest acquisition in the gaming industry. And now this has just blown past it. From $12.7 billion being the biggest to now 69, technically 68.7. But 69 is a nice round number. $1 billion. Now the transaction will only close by fiscal year end 2023. Which is end of June 2023. Until then, Activision Blizzard will continue to operate independently, but after that point, once the deal has gone through, once it's closed, the company, Activision Blizzard, will be under Microsoft Gaming and will report to Phil Spencer as CEO. Now, a lot of people are wondering, what does this mean for Bobby Kotick, the current CEO of Activision Blizzard? And it's not clear. For now, he's staying as CEO. For now, he's still in charge of Activision Blizzard because, again, until that deal closes, it's going to be business as usual. But it would not surprise me to see Bobby Kotick exit the company by July of 2023. It doesn't exactly strike me as the kind of guy who is going to take orders from anyone or report to someone. I'm also not sure how Microsoft feels about keeping him around. Yes, Bobby knows how to make an obscene amount of money, but he also has a lot of public ill will currently. You know, just a little bit, just a bit. And besides, Microsoft isn't too bad at making money themselves. So if I had to guess, I think Bobby's going to be getting a severance package that would make King Midas blush as part of this acquisition. And of course, when this happens, it's going to be painted as him retiring completely. Now, the buying price of $69 billion comes out to buying the company for $95 a share. And this is at a time when Activision Blizzard stock was trading at $65 a share. So quite a lot more than what it's currently selling for. But almost a year ago, in February of 2021, Activision Blizzard stock had reached its all-time peak of $104 per share. It's cratered down to $57 per share in December following all the scandals. And already now, following news of the acquisition, Activision Blizzard stock has jumped from $65 a share to $87 a share. So honestly, while $69 billion is a lot of money, it still feels like a good deal for Microsoft. Activision Blizzard has a number of big titles to release in the next few years. Diablo 4, Overwatch 2, probably more. And especially if Bobby is out by 2023, Microsoft Gaming should be able to shed all the bad reputation that Activision Blizzard has been garnering of late, which was a big factor that's been driving down the stock price. Now, according to Bloomberg sources, Bobby Kotick did not initially want to sell, and he tried to see if any other company would offer more than what Microsoft was offering. But with all the ongoing scandal, he just didn't have much bargaining power. Now, Microsoft is planning to offer as many new and old Activision Blizzard games as possible on Xbox Game Pass and PC Game Pass once the deal closes in 2023. And this acquisition is also a big part of their cloud gaming strategy. Now, in the past, we spoke about how Google Stadia was trying to become the Netflix of gaming, which isn't going to happen. But really, it's Microsoft that's trying to become the Netflix of gaming by owning a giant catalog of games and making them available on any kind of device for a subscription fee. Now, when the transaction closes, Microsoft will become the world's third largest gaming company by revenue, behind Sony number 1 and Tencent number 2. And it's going to have 30 internal game development studios. It's surreal to think of Activision Blizzard as just one of these 30 internal Microsoft studios. Wow. And now we also gain greater context to Phil Spencer's recent interview comments about Xbox's stance on Activision Blizzard. Back in November, an internal email that Spencer sent leaked to the public, and in that email he said that he was disturbed and deeply troubled by the horrific events and actions at Activision Blizzard, and that he was evaluating all aspects of our relationship with Activision Blizzard and making ongoing proactive adjustments. Yeah, I'd say buying the company is pretty proactive. Then in an interview last week, which we covered in this video here, or I guess it's here now, Spencer was pushed for a follow-up comment on this, and he basically said that he would rather work with a company to help them improve their situation rather than punish that company in some way. Well, what better way to help improve Activision Blizzard than by buying Activision Blizzard and gaining complete control over the company? The funny thing is, one can almost see this as a gradual Microsoft takeover of the company in the past couple of years. It's not what happened, don't get me wrong. But the current boss of Blizzard as of 2021 is Mike Ibarra, who joined Blizzard in 2019 after 20 years at Microsoft, the later half of which was in the Xbox division. Then the executive producer of Diablo as of 2020 has been Rod Ferguson, who came over from The Coalition, a subsidiary of Xbox Game Studios. So some former major Microsoft gaming execs were already starting to take control of Blizzard. Now, I know this is all really something huge to take in. This is one of the biggest gaming stories probably of the past decade. And I know a lot of people are wondering, is this good news or bad news? And the answer is, that depends? Both? See, for fans of Activision Blizzard games, this is probably good news. Bobby Kotick ran his company with the singular focus of making as much money as possible. And he was very good at it. And while Blizzard was afforded a good amount of independence back when World of Warcraft was king, over the past few years, Activision has been increasingly imposing its influence on Blizzard. And once the protective shield that was Blizzard co-founder Mike Morhaime finally gave out and left, well, Activision had fully taken over. Blizzard was not allowed to make games like StarCraft 3 because even though StarCraft 3 would make a lot of money and sell millions of copies, the resources applied to a AAA project in a niche market like RTS just would not generate as much revenue or profit as the same resources applied to a more popular genre like Battle Royale. Because it's not about making money for Bobby Kotick, it's about making all the money. But hey, guess who just published RTS game Age of Empires 4? Xbox Game Studios. In fact, in 2019, they established a new internal studio dedicated to Age of Empires. So you see, Microsoft clearly doesn't share the same ideals that every game they pump out must be a game that sells tens of millions of copies. They don't need every franchise to be a billion-dollar franchise the way Activision was running things. So StarCraft 3, Warcraft 4, which as of a week ago I thought would never happen, definitely not under Bobby Kotick, are now back on the table. Then for Activision Blizzard employees, this is also probably good news. Journalist Jason Schreier shared that he's been hearing optimism from Activision Blizzard employees with regards to management changes and the positive culture at studios owned by Xbox. Blizzard Global Community Development Lead Adam Fletcher tweeted, "As a person who worked for Microsoft on Team Xbox/Gears, I'm pretty stoked for the news today. I loved my time at Microsoft. Phil and Satya are great." He's referring to Phil Spencer and Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella. "I can't think of a better team to work under. I'm okay with a second go around." But for PlayStation players, this is probably bad news. While Microsoft Gaming will surely honor all current deals to release games on PlayStation, and they're currently putting out messaging to reassure PlayStation players, look, the reality is moving forward, there is a risk of many Activision Blizzard franchises moving to PC and Xbox exclusivity. Microsoft didn't just drop $69 billion to let Sony continue to have all the same games. For years, Xbox versus PlayStation was a debate settled by who has the better exclusives. And as a PC player who has no stake in either side of this, the impression that I always got is more people agreed that PlayStation had the better exclusives. And that's what was making them lead the console wars as of late. But in the past few years, Microsoft's been making some very aggressive studio acquisitions. For instance, Bethesda. So we could be seeing the start of the tide turning here. Then as for the gaming industry as a whole, well, this is concerning. I'd say this is definitely more bad news than good news. You see, the United States, and other countries as well, but Activision Blizzard is based in the US. The US has antitrust laws. They're there to promote fair competition and to prevent monopolies from forming. These are things that, maybe the laws aren't enforced well, I don't know about that, I'm Canadian, but in general, these laws, the intent of them is to the benefit of the consumer, us. It is generally to the consumer's advantage that monopolies don't form and that there is fair competition. to give you the most basic example possible as to why. Imagine if in the future, all AAA game studios are owned by only two companies. Let's pretend it's Sony and Microsoft. Then Sony and Microsoft could agree with each other that all their games are now going to cost $200. And as consumers, we no longer have the option to vote with our wallets by only buying from the companies that maintain reasonable prices. Our option is now spend $200 or don't buy a AAA game. Consumers don't really have a choice when that choice is take it or leave it. Again, this is the most basic example, but it extends far beyond just pricing. It's about consolidation of power and trusting that these mega corporations will wield that power responsibly. Now, it's pretty likely that this acquisition will need to pass antitrust inspection to fully go through. But according to Reuters sources, Microsoft is confident of winning antitrust approval. So again, to wrap up, overall, probably good news for Blizzard fans, probably good news for Blizzard employees. Dangerous news for the industry as a whole. And as we wrap up this video, I'm going to encourage you folks to sound off in the comments with your thoughts and impressions on all this. And do be sure to have checked out my previous video with my theory on Diablo 4's release date after a new piece of evidence came to light. Thanks for watching. Special thanks to my Twitch, Patreon, and YouTube supporters for making these videos possible. If you like what you saw on this channel and want to support the creation of more content, you can consider pledging on YouTube or Patreon and unlocking behind-the-scenes content, monthly virtual hangouts, and more. If you enjoyed this video, please share it. Check out these other videos and subscribe to join Riker's Raiders for more gaming content.